Hello friends and enemies. As you can probably tell right off the bat, we're doing something a little bit different today. I saw a lot of other people were doing their figures of the year and I thought that looked like a lot of fun. So, I decided to do my own figures of the year. I went through and picked out my top 10 figures from this year, and Patrick went out and picked out his. I do want to preface this by saying these are our favorite toys that we have opened. There are plenty that we haven't opened. Some of these may not have been from last year, they may have been before, but they are all ones that we opened last year. There's also a lot of other figures that came out last year that we haven't opened that may usurp the place of one or many of these figures, but since we haven't opened them yet, we don't know. So we've just kind of got a motley crew of different characters assembled here. And I will go through them one by one and list out why they were our favorites. Alright, in no particular order, let's just go through these and see what we've got. Let's start out with one of Patrick's. Alright, so for number 20, we have the Omega Sentinel. And I asked Patrick if he wanted to come on the channel and talk about why he chose the ones he chose, and he said, and I quote, no, he said it exactly like that. So I'm just going to put words into his mouth as to why he chose these, and hopefully they're the right words. As for Omega Sentinel, it's a clean design, good sculpt, nice articulation, especially for a lower price figure, and she comes with robot arms. And I'm pretty sure I covered this in the review, but it is nice that the robot arms have this pauldron up here that will slip over the shoulder for more posability. And also she's got a nice face. I mean, not a nice face, but a nice face. So number 19, this is one of my picks, and that is the very recent For Horsemen Studios Krampus figure. We just did a review on this one. So if you want to know why I love this figure, go look at that review. I don't need to rehash everything. It's a cool figure. This guy has a lot of character. I'm on record as to saying I don't really care about Krampus, but man, this one looks neat. And the accessories and the backdrop thingy he came with, definitely a figure of the year, even if he was a latecomer. Plus, he comes with jingly bells. And how can you say no to that? At number 18, once again in no particular order, we have the Figma Table Museum Moai. And this one comes down to paint apps and fun. It's just such a cool little figure. You can give it a lot of personality depending on how you pose it, and it's unique. I really like all the Table Museum figures because they're just something special, you know? They're kind of like a conversation piece. If you're into that kind of thing, which I am. What are we on now? Are we on 17? I can't count. Anyway, so we have Marvel Legends Rescue, and she came in a 2-pack with Captain Marvel. Yeah, I really like this figure. She was on my desk for a while just because I like the way she looks. I love this, backpack attachment, almost like insect wings. So mainly it's just a really cool, really detailed figure, and it's blue, which is great, and it's really cool armor. The posability is not bad at all for a Marvel Legends figure. Obviously you can get more out of other figures, but as far as I know, Marvel Legends is the only one that has a rescue figure. So yeah, there are very few figures that get to hang out with me at my work desk, and this is one of them. So she has definitely earned a place in the top 20. Super 7 Leonardo, the second best turtle. So Patrick is a huge Turtles fan. Me, not so much, but I enjoy a good turtle every now and then. And Super 7 has just been knocking it out of the park with their takes on the classic Ninja Turtles toys. Really well sculpted, well engineered, great paint, cool accessories. So it's no wonder that this is one of his top figures. It's all dusty from being set out. We don't really have a proper display for any of this stuff yet. Hopefully that will come soon. But yeah, I imagine it was hard to choose between all the Super 7 figures, but he chose this one. We also have this, God, what's his name? Garbage Pail Man? What is he? I don't know. I should probably learn his name before I go on to look at him. But yeah, this isn't the only Ninja Turtles Super 7 that Patrick chose. We have more. Alright, here's obviously one of mine. I think you can pretty much tell at this point which ones I chose and which ones he chose. So y'all know I like dinosaurs. So this was from the Creative Beast Kickstarter that fulfilled this year, or last year, I guess. What year is it? I don't know. I still think it's like 2018, so not great, but I get by. Yeah, the Creative Beast Studios Kickstarter fulfilled this last year at some point. I can't remember, and we've been through that. So I got 4 dinosaurs from the Ceratopsian line, and it was really hard to choose which one I wanted in my top 10, but I chose Psittacosaurus because it's really unique. It's a cool dinosaur. I love the tail spikes, and I also love the fact that this figure can be posed either bipedally or on all fours. The more standard Ceratopsians, like a Triceratops, are super cool figures too that I'm super happy to have, but this guy I just think is, much like the Moai statue, really special. Not something you see every day for sure. And that's why he's my number 5 million. Alright, we're thinning out the ranks here pretty good. Let's move on to I've lost count. Retro Spider-Man. This one is interesting in that it's not one that we've opened up on the channel. I had a ton of other stuff to review, so Patrick just went ahead and opened up his Retro Spider-Man wave himself and took a look at it. And I guess he must be pleased with it because this is one of his top 10s. Once again, it comes down to sculpt, and especially in this case, I think, the engineering of the toy. This guy has a ton of posability, as any good Spider-Man should. Really easy to move around and put into poses. Every pose I put him in feels natural. And that's from someone who is notoriously awful at posing toys. I usually get Patrick to do all the posing for me because I'm just not good at it. But yeah, really cool, really smoothly articulated figure. And also, look at the attention they gave to his butt. But then it's like, the rest of his costume is skin tight, but his butt has these wrinkles in it. So maybe he should take in his costume at the butt a little bit? I don't know. That is strange now that I look at it. But we don't need to ponder on that too hard. The herd is being thinned out greatly. So next up on my list is for Horsemen Studios' Mythic Legions Warrior. And I forget which wave that he came in, but man, do I love this figure. Like, all the figures I chose are like animals or animal people. But I don't know, it's just, there's something cool about them. I don't know, like, growing up, seeing so many action figures of just like human dudes, it's nice to have, like, ladies and animals and lady animals. But yeah, there's nothing that I don't love about this figure. The sculpt is super cool. The paint is amazing, especially paint on the weapon here. I have a lot of Mythic Legions in my top 10, and I have no regrets. It's a line that we only recently found out about, but man, I adore it. I really do. There are some figures that I could take or leave, but I love all my Mythic Legions figures. Really excited for their other entries with the new Poxus wave and Cosmic Legions, which is going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, Warrior. Far from the only animal you will see in this list, even now. Alright, I think we're on number 12 now. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But I'm counting anyway, why not? So at number 12 we have, this is Patrick's choice obviously, because you know my feelings on Conan the Barbarian. We have Conan the Barbarian. I won't be salty about it. It's a really great figure. Just because I don't like Conan doesn't mean I should hate on this figure. And I'm not gonna. It's fantastic. So yeah, I know that this is one a lot of people were excited about. Sorry that it's not my favorite, but it's someone's favorite. Crazy amounts of detail. I still can't get over these little pores on his skin. And these cool boots. And I didn't go over this in the review, but there's even animal hide texture on the bottom of the boots, which is a super cool detail, if my camera will focus. And I believe this is actually the only Mezco we have in our top 10s list, top 20s. And that's surprising to me because they've come out with a lot of cool stuff. But when everything is so high quality, it's hard to pick. Alright, next on my list is Riri Williams. This, of course, is another Marvel Legends. And I think she was on a lot of people's top action figures list. She's a unique sculpt. She's got a really cool head sculpt, a lot of personality, nice smooth articulation, and the effects she comes with are really neat. I don't have them at the table here, but they're the like the rocket with smoke curling out behind it. One thing I will say is that our initial one we got, this knee does not bend. It is all one piece. It's fused together. And you can kind of see this knee piece is darker than this knee piece, which is the same color as the entire leg. It just will not bend. It doesn't bend. And so obviously that's some sort of defect with the manufacturer or something. But we like this figure so much that we got a second one. Got another Riri whose knee will bend. So I'm not sure what we're going to do with the broken leg one. But anyway, yeah, she's a lot of fun. I definitely prefer her with the helmet off, just because it shows off that great face sculpt and that personality. Plus her helmet looks kind of weird to me, so I just like seeing her face. So next, we've got Mafix Peter B Parker from Into the Spider-Verse, and I think this is another one that people really liked. Like a lot of people who have one, I've seen it on their top 10s list. Definitely seems to be a favorite, and I know why, because it's just great. Great accessories, great sculpting. I love that he can have a little bit of a belly. I love the soft goods. I love his sad face. Just if anyone deserved a figure, it was this guy. He's just so done. And I can respect that. I mean, I don't know what more can be said about this that hasn't already been said. It's fantastic. Let's move on to another Mythic Legions animal person, because apparently I have a problem. Taurean, the evil shadow Minotaur. I just really love the combination of blue and black, and he's an evil Minotaur guy. What is there not to love? I do still wish he had a tail. Does he have a hole for a tail? I never even checked. No hole for a tail. But it would be cool if he had a tail. That's all I'm missing with Taurean. But yeah, he's another one that I display inside my office because I just like looking at him. He's another one that comes with a lot of cool weapons. I have him displayed with this magic staff right now, but he also had a sword and a shield, I believe. And those were pretty cool. It was hard to decide what to display him with. But I ultimately went with the staff because how often do you see a staff-wielding Minotaur? Not every day, I'd wager. We are now on our 8th figure, and that is Super 7's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutagen Man. And now that I think about it, I did reviews for these, but I don't think I ever posted them. I think the documents are still on my computer, just unedited. So sorry about that. I will post those reviews one day, maybe. But yeah, this is a big, chunky piece of plastic. Harkens back to the original. He came with a lot of garbage and stuff you could fill up his cavity with. Ew. And this piece comes out, so if you wanted to fill it with goop or water or whatever, you could. I think it would probably still leak. I do not think it's watertight. Yeah, massive piece, fun sculpt. Really, really super gross when you look at it closely and think about what is going on here. So yeah, another one from the Super 7 line that we both really like. It's hard to have an action figure top 10s or whatever list without Marvel Legends. Just because the market is so saturated with them, there's so many good ones, and a lot of people collect them. So speaking of Marvel Legends, this was definitely one of my favorites, and I'm counting this even though it's a Build-A-Figure. So some people, I think, don't count Build-A-Figures, but I'm counting this one. Me personally, I'm not really that into Build-A-Figures, but I knew I had to have this one because it's a werebear, or whatever, a mutant. I know he's not technically a werebear, he's a mutant, but come on guys, semantics. He's a werebear. I chose this as one of my favorites just because it's a big bear man with abs. And I love it. Admittedly, there's not much you can do with articulation on this. I especially wish that he could look up more and maybe go down on all fours. But it is what it is, and I like what it is. Yeah, so he is another one that is proudly displayed in my office alongside my other animal people. I don't know, it just looks so cool. Look at him. Anyway, I don't need to defend myself to you. You understand. Alright, speaking of Marvel Legends, the last Marvel Legend on our list, Ultron. And Ultron is just a cool guy. He's got a cool sculpt, all chrome, very attention-grabbing. It's like a white silver kind of, so it really stands out even among any other silvery colored figures you might have on the shelf. I love his Kirby dot mouth, another one that's well engineered as far as articulation goes, and he's just a classic villain. I've seen a lot of people say that they wish he was bigger, and I can understand that, but barring a Ultron Build-A-Figure, I think this is probably the best classic comics Ultron we're going to get. Alright, next for me is the Kingdom Hearts 3 Bring Arts Aqua figure. And if you watch my review from a while back, I did have a few complaints about this figure, but at the end of the day, I just really like it. I like Aqua, I like her design a lot, and I'm just really happy to have a toy representation of her. I still wish she came with her original Keyblade instead of Ericus's, but maybe they'll re-release it in the future with her regular Keyblade, who knows? I don't know. I just really like Kingdom Hearts. It was a difficult decision between her and the new version 2 Riku, but we already have a Riku figure out, so I went ahead and went with Aqua since this is the only one we have of her. I don't know, I just think she's neat. Number 4, we have reporter April O'Neil from NECA. And I've been calling it Nika, and that wasn't supposed to be a joke about their knee articulation. It was just that I didn't know how to pronounce it right. So it's NECA, right? Not Nika. Also, does it matter? I don't know, maybe some people who work there might get angry about that. Anyway, April O'Neil. Patrick said he liked this one in particular because he's always wanted an April O'Neil action figure like this from the movie. He loves the Nika Turtle movie figures. Nika movie turtle figures? I don't know. And is happy to have the whole team together. We also got a Casey Jones, but I haven't opened that yet because there's a lot of other stuff to do. It looks fantastic. I seem to remember people had issues with the April figure. I think, yeah, a lot of it had to do with the paint flaking off of her stockings and the stockings being a different color. But that's really not a deal breaker for me in particular. You're not really going to display her from the back anyways. And I haven't had any more trouble with her paint flaking off from the front. The paint on the handbag does flake off a little bit though. We covered that in our review. Watch out for that. A great representation of her look in the movie. And a nice figure. Alright, and here's another one of my picks, obviously, because it's an animal-person hybrid, which apparently seems to be my thing. Anubis from Physian. Physian Toys. So yeah, I love this guy. I know that they have other Egyptian deities in larger scale. I really hope they make them smaller scale, because I would fill out the Pantheon for sure. But I don't need a big Horus or whatever. This size is perfect. I don't know, I was really skeptical of the soft silicone body, but We've had this for about a year. It's gone all over the country with us. It's gone on a trip to the desert, and it's still held up pretty good. I mean, it's dusty. It's a little dirty, but so far there hasn't been any tearing, no breakage, no breakdown of the silicone, no weird leaks or anything. And he looks super cool. Not to mention he came with a bunch of really fun accessories. So if you haven't seen that review, I would suggest you look at it because it's a really fun figure. Don't watch the review for me, watch it for Anubis. And a real standout of this year have been the Lone Coconut Plunderlings. I can't remember if we started looking at these the year before or this year, but I know that we got this one this year. And this is the Fawn figure. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of like little goblins or gremlins or whatever, but these guys are pretty cute. They're really fun toys, not based on any previous material, just something unique that Lone Coconut came up with. A lot of really goofy designs. I mean, goofy in a good way. And some fun accessories, particularly with the ones that have the hats that you can switch out. They're just fun little guys to have around. You can just like hide them around your house or whatever, have them interacting with your other figures. I don't know, there's not much more to say besides they're fun. Definitely seen a lot of people enjoying them, and we have too. Excited for more installments of these guys in the future. And last, not because it's absolutely my favorite, but because it was too big to bring to the front with all the other figures in front of it, is the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legions Aethon, a big evil horse. And this is another one I've done a whole review of, and I have a lot of mixed feelings. So it's definitely not my number one, it just happens to be the last one I'm looking at. I have a lot of mixed feelings as far as posability and accessories coming off really easily goes, but you cannot deny that this thing is gorgeous to look at. Another one that's in my office just because I want to look at it every day. We have his rider, Aether? Is Aether the horse, or is Aether the man? Aethon is the horse, right? I don't know. I didn't really brush up on my Mythic Legions lore before I did this, and you can probably tell. But we have his rider, the big demon dude. We just haven't opened him yet, so we will do that sometime this year, probably, and complete the set. But for now, I've got this cool evil horse without a rider just chilling in my display cabinet. And I couldn't be happier with him. Or her. And so, there you have it. That's our top 20 list of 2021. And now, as we move on into the next year of 2022, the year of our Lord, we hope that we will continue reviewing toys and keep trying to have fun with it. I mean, I say trying. It's not really hard to have fun with it. But, you know, sometimes life gets you down. You get beat down into a little nubbin, you get tired, you get sad, and it happens to everyone. So in this new year, I'm wishing you the best. I hope you stay healthy and happy, and I hope all your dreams come true. So that's it for this one. We'll be back with a regular review next week, probably. So I'll see you guys then.